All right, guys, this one I am going to call the high miners. I think they're high in more than one way. Um, yeah, I guess let's basically, I've been getting a lot of people asking about the Vineyard and Ruby Mine, and uh, then I just started getting a few messages today about BakeMatic, and I don't know, guys. Let me let's talk about this. The the fees on these things. I talked about this briefly before, but I want to review it. There's like three people on my file right now. They might freak out if I do this, but that's okay. I just want to show you what the difference is. Let's pretend this is like, I don't know, let's pretend it's Matic, for instance. So ignore like the B2B or B&B labels, and let's just pretend it's Matic. Let's say you invest, let's say you invest 100 Matic into one of these. Right now the tax is set at 3% because this is set for baked beans. But let's say it's the Vineyard. So right now, I've got 100 invested. At the end of 12 weeks, I could expect about 1,230. But let's change this to 8%. Yeah, you just missed out on a little more than 100 Matic. That's basically your entire investment just went away. That amount just went away in 12 weeks because that fee is high. That's what larger fees can do. They take away your potential returns and they go to the wallet of the owner. Now that can be good if it's going to things like marketing and stuff like that. But the problem is you don't know where it's actually going. Are they just pocketing it? Are they actually using it all for those returns? I don't know. So that's what they can do. And in this case, we'll get to this in a minute. BakeMatic is 10% tax. You're doing away with. You're basically getting rid of yeah, a huge chunk of your possible returns because you're with a miner that has high fees. I'm not saying it's bad. I don't know. Maybe they're spending a bunch on marketing, but that's what those fees can do. They can really remove a lot of your potential earning power because they're taking those fees out. I don't know. I think baked beans kind of hit the sweet spot right off the bat with 3% because they seem to be paying, doing the admin, they're doing marketing, it's like growing really fast, and they're doing it with 3%. So I'm not sure why a lot of these people think they need to, basically jump in and raise these fees so high. I've seen all sorts of excuses. Well, we're going to do lots more marketing, or we have a bigger team, so I have to pay people. It's like, well, that's fine, but I don't know. You shouldn't be taking people's returns because you've got too many people on your team. I don't know. It's odd to me. But I mean, this is DeFi. I mean, people can choose to invest in these or not, and that's what I'm going to say too. I've been asked about these things over and over and over, so I finally decided, you know what, I'll just do a video. I'll let you know what I think. You can use my link if you want. They're going to be referrals. If you don't, that's cool, whatever. I don't expect you to use these things, but if you do, go for it, whatever. It's totally your choice. I will provide you with that opportunity. Yeah, just saying, I'm just telling you that that's what's going to happen with your earnings. You can earn more off of a miner with lower fees. So, sorry, there's a police car going by outside. So, but we'll just keep going. Anyway, guys, yeah, so Vineyard, max deposit of 300 Matic. This is kind of weird because I looked in the code. It does have that block. I don't know. I guess I don't know why they have a max deposit of 300. It seems kind of low, honestly, for a deposit. I guess you could just use multiple wallets. I mean, to get around that, whatever. I mean, if you make 8% every day on 300 Matic spread across, 900 Matic spread across 3 wallets, then you're still gonna make the same percent, whatever. Um, yeah. So, I mean, other than that, it's just, yeah. And then the insurance fee, I don't know. I've talked about these in ROI dApps. Insurance funds are kind of just a smoke screen. They don't really do anything. They're basically taking a fee out, sticking it in a separate wallet, and then if the balance drops below a certain point or is needed, it goes back into the balance. I don't know what's the difference between that and just keeping it in the balance. I don't know. Anyway, that's kind of what I think. It makes no sense. Anyway, yeah. Other than that, I mean, it's a baked beans clone. Um, I'll go through the front end of all these, and then we'll talk about the code in the back end. Yes, they have audits, but I mean, I'll show you why those audits are probably kind of useless on these things. Ruby Mine, kind of the same thing. 8% tax. They say deposit fee, but that's going to be on the deposit and withdraw. So that's what that's going to be. Other than that, it's on the Avalanche network, so it'll be AVAX. Other than that, it's going to function the exact same way. Yeah, there's not going to be anything too special about that. And then the one today that I just saw, this one's insane. BakeMatic, I think it just launched today. I'll have to look at, I guess we can look. But the dev fee of 10%, they won't even hire. Yeah, this is why I call this group of miners the high miners, because they're high in fees, and I think they must be high. I don't know. To think that people are just, whatever. Out of these three, I think the one that's got the most traction is Ruby Mine. They've got a lot of marketing behind them. They really started early, and they're really growing quickly. I don't know. I guess enough marketing can overcome a fee that's that high. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about these. We can talk about the code. Let's first look at this one. I think it started today. I can review the transactions. Go to the last one. Yeah, it started taking, well, it took a few deposits yesterday. A few, and then it really started earlier today, about 12 hours ago. So that one's still very early, but those fees are just, I don't know. I don't know if I can get over that. All right, let me bring up a code editor here, and we can start with baked. So baked, this is baked on the left and baked beans on the right. As you can see, they use the exact same everything. The only thing that they changed was the name of the contract and the dev fee value from 3 to 10%. That is the only change between both the code bases, like totally. So yeah, I don't know. Sometimes when I go into some of these groups and I see stuff like this, and then people are like, hey, what, how did the devs write this? Can we talk to the devs? Like, guys, it doesn't take much of a dev to do this. You can copy the contract code, change the fee, change the name on the contract, and there's tutorials on Google on how to deploy a contract to the blockchain. So I don't know. It doesn't take much of a dev to do this stuff. Yeah. So those are the only two lines in the entire code base that's changed. So yeah, I don't know. If people are like, hey, we need an audit, I want to see the BakeMatic audit or whatever, like it doesn't even matter. Yeah, this is copied straight from Polyscan. So, I mean, it's what's in the contract right now that's live. So yeah, I don't know. Some of these I'm just like, is it even worth paying for an audit at this point if you can show, on Polyscan that you changed 2 lines of code and these are the 2 lines you changed? It's not worth probably paying thousands for an audit when you can just show everybody exactly what happened. So that's that one. Vineyard. Let's talk about Vineyard. What's the other Matic one? Everything's the same, blah, blah. The only thing that's different in Vineyard is, of course, the contract names. And yeah, this one is interesting because it's the dev fee value. So they're taking, they're taking out those chunks, those 8% for the dev fee, and then 8% for that insurance fund, quote unquote insurance fund. So the other 8% should go back into the contract. This other one is, so I would be aware of that. That's one thing that I'm very leery about on Vineyard, is they're taking that as a dev fee, which goes to the owner's wallet. So that extra 8% of, 8% is supposed to go to them, 8% is supposed to go to the insurance fund. That 8% for the insurance fund is going to the owner's wallet. So just be aware with that. The owner could just be like, yeah, we're done. We're not going to put it back into the contract. So they could realistically be taking 16% of deposits and 16% of withdrawals and not take, 8% like they're supposed to. So that is a big, huge red flag for me. Yeah, I don't know. That's just crazy. Because the only other change that's in this contract is this check for the minimum Matic, the maximum Matic, which is funny because it's set at 300 Matic, and then their message says max investment is 800. So this whole contract, they copied it and couldn't even get those two lines right to match up. So, I mean, honestly, I don't know, guys. I've been asked so many times to review these ones that are, super high fees. And most of the time when they're high fees, the people that are taking those high fees are mostly shady because they're just trying to do money grabs. And this is a huge, this is almost the level of cooked rice. They're taking 16% and they're saying half of that is going to be an insurance fund, but it's going to the owner's wallet. You have no idea if that's ever going to come back. So, I mean, this is almost like a half rug at some level. So that's that one. Ruby, which is, out of the three, it's probably my favorite because it's got some momentum. I'm saying out of the three, out of all miners, this is not my, favorite. But out of the three, this is probably the best of the high ones. The things that they've changed are in the ownable. They've created some, they instantiated some variables for different funds, basically different wallets, because they split up their fees differently, and I can show you those. So they take 8% as well, but they split it up between actually 4 different wallets, one for the dev fee, one for marketing, web fee. I don't know what the heck the web fee is about. I mean, your hosting is dirt cheap. I mean, it shouldn't be more than, I don't know, maybe $50 a month. I don't know what the web fee is all about. And then the team fee. I don't know. I just don't get it. Anyway, so that adds up to 8% total. We can see, what baked beans is on the right. Obviously, it's 3%. Yeah, other than that, they added these addresses that we talked about for the different marketing and blah, blah. And then they changed everything to rubies, harvest rubies instead of hatch eggs. I don't know. I think it's a lot of effort to change the whole egg thing because everybody knows you're forking it, so just leave the eggs in. Who cares? Yeah. Other than that, it's adding all these different, fees and wallets in. That's what all this stuff is. Those changes, just changes to rubies. Yeah, again, the same thing over here. Just adding those wallets, adding the fees. I mean, they added a lot of code to add these fees into those different wallets. They could have just done a straight 8% and then just split them up on the back end. Would have been probably much easier to do. But whatever. Yeah, because otherwise they have to create all these different functions for everything. Yeah. Yeah, they added this open mine so they could like open the mine, when it began. Other than that, it's just changing those ruby, eggs to rubies. So, yeah, that's kind of the reviews on the codes. How they all differ from baked beans. Anyway, yeah, somebody already telling me about BakeMatic. It just launched. Woohoo! They're probably good. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's kind of it for these ones. I am definitely not saying get into these. You can do what you want. Yeah, if you want, I'll leave referral links to them. You can have those. I'll throw in probably very little into these and just kind of compound and see what happens. But those fees, especially after seeing this one in the vineyard, that's just, I don't know, that's almost rug-like, because you don't know what's going to happen with that money. You're basically handing it to the owner's wallet, and that wallet's not doxed. It's not, we don't know what's going to happen with that. Who knows? Maybe they'll open it up and say, hey, watch this transfer into this one, and watch this money go from that wallet to the balance or whatever. But that's my view on these. Again, I label them the high miners. Yeah. Anyway, tell me what you guys think about these. I think they're kind of not very cool, not very good forks. I think Ruby Mine is probably the best of the three. If there's a best of the not so good, mainly because it's got the marketing and the momentum behind it. But they did a lot of work to get those different wallets set up. Anyway, guys, yeah, tell me what you think. Like the video if you like it. Hit subscribe if you want to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.